Welcome to Red Fracture TV. I, as always, am your host, Sean Chappell. This marks the end of week 11 for my journey with Red Fracture, and things are starting to settle into a nice little routine. I've got my daily work periods organized, my cat play sessions organized, my materials stocked, new art projects starting to line up, and I'm putting to bed a couple of big projects like my website revamp and the business grant that I've been working on. I'm going to keep this week's update to a bare minimum because my entrepreneurial advice is lengthy but needs to be said. Also, I'm going to start pulling all the advice sections of my videos out and posting them to a separate playlist on my YouTube channel. A suggestion was made that maybe others don't necessarily need to hear all the details of my journey, but they might benefit from the advice. Fair enough. Suggestion accepted. Now, without further ado, more sales. Big ones too. Again, off of redfracture.com, and again, going to the same customer out of Quebec. Somebody out there likes me, and I have his name and number. This week's sales, compounded with last week's sales, have made January a financial success for Red Fracture and will allow me another month's worth of wiggle room before I have to start panicking about where the money is coming from to keep this venture afloat. At a recent session at Shopify headquarters in Waterloo, a lot of the other business owners were complaining about their decline in January sales. Not me. At least, not this time. An important side benefit to these sales is the knowledge that sales of art can happen at any time of year. Art does not have to be tied to a specific time of year, season, or holiday. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. The intimacy of the product and the cost of it sets it apart from many items, which may be time of year specific. This gives me hope that making sales of originals will be a year-round opportunity. And I'm happy for that because it gives me the impetus to paint on a regular basis, which of course, I love. Get what you want. I cannot stress this enough. Get what you want. I think a lot of human misery is caused by people not questing after what they want. They settle for second best or the easy road and lead unfulfilled lives because of it. Here are a couple of things that happened to me this week that highlight the necessity of getting what you want while being an entrepreneur. Number 1, brushes. I have been in love with the University series of brushes from Winsor Newton for the longest time. I especially like the short-handled rounds that they make. But do you think I can ever find them? There are 3 local art supply stores near me: Curry's, Wyndham's, and Michael's. Of the 3, only Curry's carries this line. Of course, the ones I like, number 2s, are always out of stock. So I reached out to Above Ground Art Supplies in Toronto to see what they have. Again, nothing. They don't carry that line. This didn't leave me a lot of options if I didn't want to keep on using a bunch of no-name cheapy brushes that don't last and don't hold a point. Then I needed to do something drastic. Enter the internet. My search led to Dick Blick Art Supplies, a company from the US. They have a fairly famous flagship store in New York City, Manhattan, I believe. I found the brushes I was looking for, saw they were on sale, ordered in 10 to stock up, and paid the shipping to have them sent right to my door. In all, I wasn't paying any more than the usual cost of the brushes had I purchased them at Curry's, and I saved time and gasoline by having them sent straight to me. And here they are. These brushes last, and I now have enough of them to last the entire year. I wasn't going to settle for anything less. This is what I wanted, and this is what I got. Number 2, why I'm an entrepreneur. During a mentoring session at the Waterloo Region Small Business Center, I was approached by another attendee who helps businesses with marketing. She said she understood the business of being an artist. Her father was an artist, as was a good friend of hers. Fair enough. Ultimately, our conversation led to the idea that artists have to have a bread and butter line that they do, and that usually ends up being something they're not very happy doing, but it satisfies the market and earns them money. And then they get to do what they want in their off hours, if they're lucky. This idea has come up again and again in a lot of forums, in a lot of conversations. You know what this sounds like to me? Bullshit. How I read this is that these people haven't looked hard enough to find their primary customers and have taken a road that sees them servicing a group of clients who are not their actual customers. They're now essentially working 2 businesses, and their primary business is something they're not happy to do. This is crap. I did not jump ship to run my own business just to get caught up doing something else that is not what I was put here to do. I am open to tweaking what I do to service a new market. This piece might work better without a skull in it. Or a new product line. This piece, shrunken down, might work really well on a mug. And I am open to trying new things, should they be something I think fits well within my business parameters. New opportunities are a good thing. What I am not going to accept is the default that artists have to satisfy the market, rather than finding a market that satisfies their art. Is it more work to find your market? Yes. But will it be more satisfying to service it? Infinitely. I've already got several big fans. The gent in Quebec, who has purchased 2 lots of paintings off of Red Fracture this month alone. This gentleman here, who purchased Gambling on a Good Harvest at the Toronto Outdoor Art Exhibition a couple of years back, and other arts professionals in my hometown of Cambridge, Ontario, who are returning customers year after year. With a couple dozen patrons, such as these buying on a yearly basis, I would be set, and I'm going to be. Get what you want. As Steve Jobs said, don't settle. Don't. Why should you? The world is vast, and now more connected than ever. Your customers are out there waiting for your brilliant idea, product, or service. You just have to find them. Don't get caught up doing something you don't want to do. That's like working any old day job, and that's not why you're an entrepreneur. Is it? I don't think so. For now, that is all. Thanks for watching.